Jesus asked, what is the kingdom of God like? In Matthew, it's, what is the kingdom of heaven like? What shall I compare it to? It is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his garden. It grew and became a tree, and the birds perched in its branches. Again he said, what shall I compare the kingdom of God to? It's like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough. How is the kingdom of God first like a mustard seed? See how small a mustard seed is? How is the kingdom of God like that? How is your work a mustard seed? Some of us go, I can't contribute. There's not much that I contribute to the kingdom of God. I'm not Billy Graham, right? No. All God is asking from you is your mustard seed. That kind word to the checkout as you walk out of the grocery store. The door opening. The caring for your coworker when things are tough for her. The extra mile that you go in doing your job well. These are the mustard seeds. And from these mustard seeds, look what Jesus says. This mustard seed planted in the garden, it grew to become a tree, and the birds perched in its branches. This mustard seed can grow into something huge. Who grows it? God. So don't ever underestimate your mustard seed. That's what he's saying. The next analogy, it's like yeast rolled into dough. Verse 21, it's like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough. Who's the bakers? What happens when you put yeast into dough? It grows, right? Just a little bit of yeast makes this whole batch of just flour grow. Who does the working? God does the working. We just are just a little bit of yeast. The kingdom of God is making everybody flourish, bringing shalom to the lives of those around us. It is God showing his love and making things the way it should be. The best definition of the kingdom of God that I heard was this. When you think of the kingdom of God, you should ask, what would it look like if God was in charge of this place? That's the kingdom of God. What would it look like if God was in charge of this factory? What would it look like if God was in charge of this farm? What would it look like if God was in charge of this construction company, like our opening video, right? What would it look like if God was in charge of this office? You picture that, and then you say, okay, my job then is to be the mustard seed or the yeast in that. What can they do to contribute to make that happen?